There it is, yes. Suborbital spaceflight on Minmus. We have that now accomplished. All that's left is 3 suborbital flights on the moon and 1 moon landing. So, let us now fix our Minmus orbit with a real quick prograde burn. Alright, got our orbit back. Lovely. And now we need to plan our maneuver to get back to the moon, which is looking like it'll be... I don't know, I might actually have to change this orbit up, make it more circular. But I'd rather try and keep as much of our velocity as we can, so I'm going to try and look at it like that. So the moon is going to be probably here or here by the time we get to it. And escaping from Minmus and getting back to Kerbin is a little different. It's weird. I might actually have to mess with this for a while. There it is. Okay. Oh, messing with this is very touchy. Takes a lot of very strange sorts of planning. Oh god. Never mind, that's not it. That is an orbit that takes me straight through the center of Minmus, and that is not something that's functional. Man, look at that. Fucking parabolic thing sends me straight out and back to the moon, but that's after crashing into Minmus, so no, that's not gonna work. Alright, so I've come to the conclusion that it is going to be exceedingly difficult to try and plan this thing the right way without first altering our orbit of Minmus. So we're gonna bring our orbit down to a more functional level. And by functional, I mean gravity assisted. Okay, so now we're at 15 kilometers, which will have us going much faster at the periapsis. And we will go ahead and warp to about there. Good. Why are you still time warping? Okay, so the warp 2 mechanism does not seem to function extremely well. There are definite problems with it. Because we clearly clicked there, and it sent us way past it, and I had to manually end the time warp. Anyway, that's enough bitching. We are in a good enough position to keep on fixing this orbit, so we're going to burn retrograde again, like so, and bring that orbit down. And we don't want that to clip into the planet at all. So we're going to be very mindful of that as we do this. Alright. Now, let's bring that up a tiny bit. Nope, that's the wrong way. We do need to go towards the ground more in fixing this. And that will translate that out slightly. And we need to radial in from here. Like so. Okay, I think that should be good. There's, obviously no atmosphere on Minmus. It's way too small for that. But that puts us really low down and traveling at a good clip. A good clip. I don't think I've ever said that before. But we also need to fix the inclination of the thing, of this orbit, because we need it to point at the moon's orbit. So we're going to do that actually right where we are. So we need to point north to burn in the normal direction. Yes. Very good. And has our fuel. Let's check on this screen. Okay, still good. Because we can't afford to go through all of this fuel because we actually need this to get from the moon to Kerbin still. But first, we do need to get to the moon. So we will burn... Nope. I was wrong. We needed to burn anti-normal. I'm a dummy. Big old dummy. In fact, let's set the moon as our target. And that does nothing for us because... Never mind, unset target. I was thinking that would give us our, ascending and descending nodes, but it doesn't work like that when you're orbiting a different orbiting body. The only way that works is if you're orbiting Kerbin. I can't really explain it very well, so I'm not going to try. But there we go. So let's get the moon's orbit back in view while we do this. And we need to keep going with it. And that was too much. Just a little bit too much, not a lot. There. Okay. Doing things sort of visually, but it's decently effective. So, now we get the fun task of futzing about with our maneuver nodes again for a long time, because at this point I am not great at planning this maneuver. I don't exactly know how it works, but I don't know, I've tried burning, prograde on the opposite side of Minmus from Kerbin, widening this side of it up to go that way, but then once you escape, then you're orbiting Kerbin and it's pushing that apoapsis in different directions, so it's a weird thing to get used to. That seems like it might actually be correct. Okay. I think I understand. And we have a moon encounter right there. And that's a 15-second burn. I think we can handle that. Alright, so let's come focus on the moon and see what that is looking like. Alright, so it's our orientation that needs to be fixed. Orientation. Our eccentricity. Our inclination. Yes. So let us now focus on this and see what changing that does. Other way. Ooh. That's nice. Okay. It's a very minor adjustment, and that is looking very, very nice. So, now that we've got that established, we need to get lined up and get ready to get from Minmus to the moon. And this is the very first time I've ever done this. I never found it necessary to go from Minmus to the moon before, because I was only coming here for science and bringing it back to Kerbin in previous playthroughs. But this tourism mission definitely gives an interesting reason to do such a seemingly, normally unnecessary sort of task. But we are almost at the node. We're pointed at it decently well. And at T-minus 7 seconds is where we need to make this burn. And here we go. And good. 0.1 meter per second off, and that puts us at a moon periapsis of 20 kilometers. That is very, very nice. Now, we need to find out, do we actually need to orbit the moon? Please tell me we don't. Suborbital, suborbital, suborbital. Okay, good. If we had to orbit the moon, that might have been a problem, because I don't necessarily know that we have the fuel to do that. Let's just find out if we do. We'll do it there and burn retro until we are orbiting. It's a 28-second burn, which is roughly twice what we just did. Yeah, we could probably handle that. I think we just went through, like a 16th of our fuel maybe on this stage. So, I think we could handle orbiting the moon if necessary, but we shouldn't need to. So, let's just delete that and warp to the moon encounter. And be careful with it, because I don't trust it to actually end the warping anymore. Oh, the moon actually orbits Kerbin maybe once or twice while we're doing this maneuver, or while we're drifting over there. Oh, okay. No. Hitting the wrong keys again. Mashing the map button instead of mashing the map key instead of the time warp end key, but alright, so we're not yet there. I just saw our velocity increasing because we're coming in closer to a mass of gravity or whatever. A gravity well. So Now that we're here in our moon encounter, we're just going to do a quick, I think radial burn? Yeah, radial in, I think, would be the way to bring our periapsis down. Or would it be? I don't know. Yes, radial in. Beautiful. It's a 1 second burn. So I do seem to be, you know, understanding the orbital mechanics at least somewhat. Yeah, I was just guessing on the radial in, and I proved to be spot on with that assessment. So 1 second. I mean, I guess we don't really need this node. We just go to the map screen and make our maneuver. We've already killed the periapsis. So did we get credit for a suborbital spaceflight on the moon? No, we didn't. Let's bring it in a little further. No. A little further. Apparently it doesn't want to count that because, you know, we still have a moon escape. So maybe we need to actually get closer to the moon before that'll count, which scares me a little bit. Because, you know, the closer to the moon we get, the more fuel it takes to burn actually out of our, you know, suborbital trajectory. But let's just warp to there, I think. Right there. I'm not going to do it with the auto warp. I'm going in manually. Because I don't trust the auto warp anymore. It's a great feature, but it has to work in order to be a really great feature. So there we are. Now does it count? Nope, sure doesn't. Maybe we have to orbit the moon and then turn it suborbital for it to count. That's probably the case. In which case, we radial out to fix that, and that is now a 4 second burn, as expected. It's a little more costly. Again, we don't need to be planning it, really. Okay, we've got our periapsis back. It's at 16 kilometers. That's a little closer than I'd like. I'm going to bring it up a little further. Yeah, 41. That's definitely manageable. And then we will get our orbit established, which is a 30-second burn, maybe slightly less, but damn it. Shouldn't have wasted time trying to cheat the system by radialing in. Radialing, yes, radialing. That's an odd thing. Anyway. And we've passed the node, but that's fine. We're close enough that it's still functional. Just rotate a little bit, keep our cockpit pointed at the sky. Makes for easier maneuvering for me, at least. Yeah, I think we'll be fine to still get back to Kerbin. I think. It's a little bit iffy. Now, do we have orbit already? Yes, we do. Okay. Good. And now we'll go to apoapsis. And we... No, because we want our... Well, no, I mean, we could have... let me just go ahead and start a bunch of sentences and not finish the thoughts. I think that'll be fun. But anyway, let's burn retrograde. And get our suborbital flight. Like so. And yes, we now have credit for doing that. And we go back to prograde. And that actually puts us in a decent position. So I'm actually going to do this real quick. We're going to drop off Tom Dan. So Tom Dan, you are now on your own. And back to the main ship. And again, fix our orbit. Okay. Alright, we've got our orbit back. Let's push it up to 30. That looks good. I'm happy with that. And we're going to go back to Tom Dan and get ready for the landing. God, what an epic mission. I know there are far, far more epic things in this game, but this is pretty epic for a beginning sort of mission, you know, without leaving the system. Let's be looking at the moon instead of Kerbin, so we know what's going on. Don't want to crash. That would be... In fact, let's go ahead and do another quick save real quick. There. Dear God. I really need to do those way more often. Okay. So now we are there. And we are going to radial out a little bit. Just to come into the light side of the moon for a landing. Yeah, that should be good. Point at the moon. God. And here we come. Alright, so we've got sunrise. And we're approaching the lighter side of the moon. Go ahead and warp a little further. Until we're, not staring at a bunch of shadows. But that should do it, because we want to still be on this face of the moon, at least. I think we'll go ahead and start our retro burn now. And we're going to go full visual on this one. We don't need the map. Getting a little cocky. No harm in that. So we just, in fact, let's point at the horizon for this. Not so much groundward, because we don't need that. Or maybe I'll just counteract what I just said a moment ago by doing the opposite of that. I don't know. I second guess myself a lot. I think I've made that much apparent by now. But we're almost completely out of orbit. I'm sure this is already a suborbital flight, but it certainly is. Now we are falling towards the moon, which is great. It's just what we want. So we're going to keep on pushing our retrograde until it is pointed straight at the top. And actually, the radial in will be right on the horizon. Like so. Now we're falling straight at the moon. Should have a sort of a stick-like trajectory. Yeah, just another straight line. Good. That means we did it right. And let us get towards the surface. Okay, we have already got detail popping in. We're going to turn on our lights. And those are pointed straight at the ground. Yes. Beautiful. And activate gears as well. And yes, functional landing gears. I like it. And let us kill off some of this groundward velocity. We do not want to crash. That would be unpleasant. Okay, that's enough. Do another little time warp. Okay, headlights are working. Keep killing off velocity. Oh, this is a bit of an incline. Alright. Yeah, that's not a good place to land. We're gonna go over there. Alright, that looks like a decent spot. Beautiful. I like that landing. I am quite pleased with that. Alright, let's get another quick save. We've got a decent, or at least an okay amount of fuel at least. At least. In fact, let's do a named quick save in case this was a failure. Alright. We have all of our check marks. That is just what I wanted to see. So, before we worry about the other craft, we are just going to... I guess I probably should have put some science stuff on this, but it's a tourism mission. We're not doing this for science, we're doing this strictly for money. Capitalism at work. Let us get off the moon. I know, it's pretty anticlimactic. Go land on the moon and then not let him get out. Haha, stupid Tom Dan. I don't know if he's even capable of it. I think that might be a strictly astronaut feature. I will know in a moment. Let me just cut throttle. Yeah, tourists may not disembark. Just as I thought. And now we're going to go back to the map so we can more effectively do this, because we need to be pointed more towards the southeast. So that's going to be that way. Yeah. Nailed it. And how's our fuel doing? Still good. And we're just going for Kerbin, or for the moon escape rather. Well, now that's interesting. Okay. So we've got our Kerbin escape, or moon escape rather. And that sends us out to there. Yeah, maybe that wasn't the best way to handle it, but it's good enough. There are more efficient ways of doing things, and I do know those ways, I just don't always act on them, apparently. Alright. So we're going to do these one at a time. I don't want to get too crazy and try to do, you know, simultaneous landings or anything. That would be a little outside my wheelhouse. But let us focus on the head of the Tourama. And I think we could handle an actual... Yeah, let's just deorbit from here. We're close enough to the apoapsis, it's not going to make that much of an efficiency difference. So we're just going to bring periapsis down to, you know, a good height, like that. That's too low. Definitely too low. We're going to be coming in way too hot and burning up in atmosphere, so we'll push it back out just a tiny, tiny bit. There. So now we won't hit atmosphere at all, and we'll actually use fuel to deorbit a bit more. Or rather to adjust the orbit and bring it in and make it less crazy and energetic, yes. And you know what? I know I said that I wasn't going to... No, not the moon. I know I said I wasn't going to do things simultaneously, but I changed my mind. We're going to switch over here and bring this thing back as well. Ooh. Yeah, this one is going to be slightly more... scary. Alright, so now we have both of our crafts in stable Kerbin orbit. Which at the very least makes them rescuable. Oh god, there goes Tom Dan. Yeah, you'll go ahead and go around again before we mess with anything. Wasn't sure which one would arrive first, should have known. But here we are, let's burn retrograde at the periapsis. Not until we run out of fuel, like a fool, but at least to make our re-entry more manageable when we get around to that portion of the flight. We're going to keep an eye on fuel and periapsis, or apoapsis rather, at the same time. Okay, I think that is enough of that for now. And we will go ahead and head here, because Tom Dan's going to take some time to get out far enough to come back. Alright, now let us bring the periapsis down a bit. The rest of our fuel is reserved for slowing us down for the actual re-entry, I believe. Getting there. Ooh, getting it close. Okay, we are entering atmosphere now. Beautiful. I think this will be a success, hopefully. So let us go ahead and quick save again. Alright, where are we at? Yes, we have our low periapsis, and so yeah, we got down into the atmospheric reentry, and because the update did in fact change some of the aerodynamics and heating principles, I did not realize my parachutes would burn up when they tried to open, or perhaps before they opened. I'm not really certain if they tried or not. I think they did though, it looked like they had engaged. But nothing else broke off, so that was good. We will perhaps wait a little longer to use the rest of this fuel. Last time I used the rest of this fuel to slow us down right as the atmospheric burning started. But I think we're going to reserve that for later on in the process when it starts getting a little more scary. So we're going to go ahead and physics warp until it starts, because this is absolutely a re-entry trajectory. This brings us down to the point in the atmosphere where it slows us down so much that we lose our orbit. Okay, now it's starting, and I'm actually... Nope, okay, never mind. Yeah, I think... I don't know if it's aerodynamics that are making that happen, or if it's the weight, displacement? Not displacement, fucking... balance. The balance of the mass of this vessel. I don't know if I think it might be heavier in the front than in the back when these tanks are empty. I'm not really certain about that, because I don't know how to measure empty tanks. Do you... Oh, never mind. I know exactly how you do it. When you're in the vehicle assembly building, the VAB, you can drag the sliders down on the tanks and make them empty, and then you can look at that. Well, I'll do that next time when I'm planning. That will make things better. I wish I'd thought of that much, much sooner. Alright, we have, I believe, established our re-entry. No, we are approaching apoapsis. Yep, and there we go. Orbit has been killed. Can we perhaps flip this thing about again? Yes. Nope, we're losing it. Let's tumble it. Beautiful. Almost. Okay. That's what I'm going for. Retrograde. Well, okay, I should have burned, because we're not going to get another opportunity. Never mind, I'm going to do it right now. Nope. That's a failure. Let's flip this way. There. No. I don't want to tumble our way into atmosphere. That would be really bad. I mean, we're already doing that, but I just wanted to use the rest of this fuel, burning retrograde, to kill off some of our velocity, you know? Make as much of this as possible go away, and not deadly. And not be deadly. Be bubbly. But, okay, we're flipping, and we are going to be going in nose first. There's nothing I can do about that. But we are going almost slow enough that things will be fine. I don't know, once we're... Yeah, everything's fine now. Cool. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and pop the chutes now. There we go. Beautiful. Everything's fine. Our batteries heated up as expected. The solar panels also heated up as expected. The lights didn't heat up at all this time. The first time I made the attempt, the lights, some of the lights at least, started to go, but yeah, nothing even exploded. I don't know if things are capable of cooling off after they heat up. Maybe it's something that happens very slowly, or... I don't know. But let's... Yeah, never mind. It absolutely does happen, because those are disappearing now. Great! Learn things every day. I'm learning new things all the time. Let's get our landing gears ready and make sure... I never actually checked to find out if those things would collide, and apparently they don't. That's good. It's a sort of interesting little trio of tripods. I guess that'd be a... What, a triple quad? A cube pod? They're tripod cubed. I don't know. I'm not feeling very creative, apparently. Landing right by a tree. Very nice. Alright. My trio, or my first two tourists, rather, are safely back on Kerbin. I am very pleased. I didn't even bother turning on the lights. I guess it wasn't important. We were landing on the light side. We could see our shadow. Use that to judge things. But, now that that is done, let's get back to Tom Dan in the Turama. Because we still need to finish the other half of this mission, which is to successfully get him back to Kerbin. So he is sort of low on fuel. I'm actually going to start the re-entry from this orbit. Warp to apoapsis. Do a quick retro burn and bring that periapsis down to roughly 30 to 40 kilometers. That seems like the safest area of approach. Okay, 34, that should be good. And let's get down there. Oh, we could bring those gears in. I don't think those need to be opened during the re-entry process. That might be a little dangerous, and let's stop wasting electricity with our lights. Alright, we have entered the beginnings of atmosphere. And man, we are going very fast. I am going to use some fuel to slow us down. Don't have a lot to spare, but I definitely have enough to get that a little less scary, because coming in at 3,000, at 3 kilometers per second, that's a little much. Okay, well, that's decent enough. And I was hoping to line up and actually land near this Turama ship. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen, though, because that periapsis is mighty, mighty low. We could burn towards the sky, but that could probably prove to be sort of dangerous and wasteful. Let's just do a little bit. Yeah, no, totally wasteful. Not worth it. Let's get off the map screen and just watch this entry. Yeah, definitely a bad time to be fucking around. Oh god, this fucking probe core is one of the less capable parts of taking much heat. And if we lose it, we lose the ability to deploy our parachutes, but if we deploy them too early, they just burn right up. So, I'm terrified, is what I'm trying to say. I really hope that the probe core isn't the one that's heating up. I think, yeah, it's... Okay, I was terrified for nothing. It's just the solar panels that are going, that's all. Nothing to be afraid of there. Alright, so yeah, looks like we're getting an ocean splashdown. Not gonna be able to land anywhere near that other one, but that's just fine. Hey, we're actually getting close to that crater. We're not gonna make it, but that's the beginnings of it over there, so that's nifty. Alright, I think everything's fine. We're not gonna lose the probe core. We probably won't even lose these solar panels. I'm gonna go ahead and time warp a little bit, because we are definitely past the worst of it. Oh yeah, already under 300 meters per second, still at 13 kilometers in the sky. Let's see if we can point the other direction. I think we can. Oh yes. Very nice. And almost falling straight down. Go ahead and wait until we're a bit further along before we open the parachutes, because it won't be necessary. Let's do it at about 1 kilometer. No, let's do it now. This is terrifying. I got scared. Call me a pussy, I don't care. And now they fully deploy. Beautiful. Excellent. That was fucking successful mission on the first try, with a little bit of, you know, futzing about with quick saves. But not because anything went disastrously wrong, just because, you know, we screwed up our very first Minmus approach. That was the only thing that was really terrible. And also losing... What did we lose? We lost something at some point. I don't remember. Oh, that's... No? Whatever. We splashed down. Tom Dan is safe. So we have both craft landed successfully and safely on Kerbin. Let us recover Tom Dan first. And we should get a very nice payout from that. Ooh, 641. And 30 science because it came back from the surface of the moon. Oh yeah, because we never recovered a vessel from the moon. We just recovered the astronaut, or Kerbinaut, or astronaut's the proper term. Nobody cares about that. Everyone says Kerbinaut. And Tom Dan, the tourist, gained XP. He's now a level 2 tourist. Good job, Tom Dan. Fucking ridiculous. Oh, man. All right. Tracking station. Let's grab to the Turama ship. And, well, we can just recover it from here. So let's do that. Yes. 25 science from the suborbital Minmus flight. Lovely. And money for parts. And some more leveling up. And Jebediah is now level 2. Fantastic. Lovely. I like it. It's good. It's great. I don't know why I always accent the R on great. It's great. Great. Okay. Having done that, we're going to just destroy some of this debris. You know, let's not clutter up our solar system, even though it's a Kerboler system. Let's get the fudge out of the map screen. Alright. So we have successfully done all of that nifty stuff. We have successfully taken tourists from Kerbin to the moon and to Minmus and back to the moon and back to Kerbin. Even landed one on the moon. And it was fucking cool or something. I'm super happy that that went off without a hitch. And we have so much more money to spend. So we're going to do that in the next episode. Gotcha. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw here, go and leave a like. If you'd like to see more, go ahead and subscribe. I'm Infinite Spiral. This is Kerbal Space Program. And we will see you next time.